Well, I'm just going to have to say my heart is just filled up, and that's not a good term, but that's the truth. My heart is just filled up today, and I wasn't going to cry, but anyway, I feel so super blessed that I have had this very special life. I got married really young. I'm younger. No, I'm actually older than Alfred. But anyway, just by 6 months. We got married, and we were just 20 when we got married. And by the age of 21, just a couple of months later, I had this precious little boy Jason. And man, as a new mother and being a young mother, you really don't know what to do. I mean, do you really know what to do? And so we get home with this beautiful little boy, and he cries all the time. So I cannot wait till the next morning till my mom can come in and help me. But we were blessed with 2 children. A couple of years later, we had another beautiful son, Jared, and blessed with 2 little boys. And what a blessing it is to have boys. Now, I don't know if you have girls or if you have boys, and, I think God knows what we need as the mother. And I was blessed to have wonderful little boys. Now, they were rambunctious and fought, and I have to tell you a crazy story. I had finally left. When you finally think that they're old enough to leave for 1 hour, who's been there? I think I'm brave enough. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to come back home. So I leave them for the very first time. They were probably 6th, 7th grade, and I go to the grocery store, and I come back home. And I see them in the floor with 2 doors in the floor. My doors in the floor. And I'm like, what is going on? What are y'all doing? And they had gotten in a fight and put a hole in the bathroom door. But to be creative, they were trying to switch the doors around to figure out so that I wouldn't see it. So I got upset, but then I thought, man, I have got some smart little boys, don't I? So I am very, very blessed to have little boys. And, little boys are rambunctious, and they love their daddies. And I used to think if something would ever happen to me and Alfred, they would go with their daddy because he loved to fish and hunt and fight and wrestle and everything. But, I loved on my boys, and I loved them with all my heart. And the one thing my daddy used to tell me was, because it's hard being a mother, is, God gives us, and that's a gift from God. Our children are a gift to us from God. And my daddy used to say, no, you bring them up in church. You take them boys to church. Now, I mean it. You take them boys to church. And he would always use the scripture to me, Proverbs 22:6. And that is, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, it will not depart from him. And as they were teenagers, Daddy would say, train them up right, train them up right. And because that's all I can do. And I used to pray as they were teenagers, God, I pray they make good choices. Because it's a tough world out there. And Alfred and I can do all we can do. But they have to make their own decisions in life. So that, I really went by what my daddy told me, was to train them up and bring them up in a Christian home. And I get to see that my son Jason is taking his children to church. And that's a blessing to me, that his children, my grandchildren, are going to church. And my other son's just got a new baby, and I hope he'll bring him up in church too, because that's what we want for them. Because we want, as a mother and as a grandmother, is for our children to know Christ in their heart. That's the most precious thing. And like I said, I feel sometimes my life is overly blessed. I feel so blessed because I've got 2 children. I've got like 6 grandchildren, and they each are so special to us. And Alfred and I went one time on a vacation. I don't know if you remember this, Alfred. Jason was a baby. And we left him. We didn't take him with us because we thought we needed a break. And we went, and we had a really good time, but we talked about him and missed him so much that we said we were not going to go on a vacation again without them. Well, that almost carries on to today. we have continued today. One of our gifts to our children is we take them with us on a vacation each year. And, you know, we talk about money and what can I leave as a legacy. I pray that our legacy is wonderful memories that we have with our children and our grandchildren, because they're my prized possession and they are our gift from God. And our grandchildren, oh my goodness, you know, God knew what he was doing, didn't he? I think our grandchildren are like, okay, you struggled through being a mother. It was great. It was hard. And it's the greatest experience in the whole world. You can't really explain how awesome it is to be a mother. I think you said your heart gets so full, and sometimes you feel like, how in the world until those grandchildren come? And that heart just keeps getting bigger, 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 because they are so precious, and it's such an easy love. When you try to explain, how do you love your grandchildren so much? It's like, it's the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. It's because there's no stress. Doesn't matter if the house is a mess. Because they get picked up, the time is different. We're not the responsible person so much. So it's just all joyous taking care of our children. We can dress up, me and my Haley Bale. We can play dress up. We can walk through the grass. We can squirt water hoses at each other. And the mess and all that stuff doesn't matter. What's important is we're making precious memories. And so I do thank God for giving me such a blessed family. I'm very blessed.